going to do?
Stand up!
Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! I'm not hearing well! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! All right, guys. All right, let's go.
Hey everyone, I hope y'all are doing well today. I'm so happy to be here. Okay, sorry. Thank you everyone for being here with us today. So first, or in a bit, we will have the Helping Hands Marching Band. I'm really excited for them to be here. I hope y'all are as excited as I am. So first, we have a few safety reminders. So, when you are marching, make sure you are arm's length apart. And also, if you have any concerns, please speak to the marshals. They will be in the orange vest. And then for people with disabilities, when you arrive to Halifax Mall, please go to the right side of the stage. So now I'm really excited to introduce Representative David Price. He is the representative for the 4th Congressional District, and among other distinguished accomplishments, Representative Price has been an advocate for public education and for fair elections. He also serves as the Vice Chair of the House Democrats' Gun Violence Prevention Task Force. Thank you, Representative Price.
Thank you. Good morning. Now I want to introduce Lisa Price, my wife, the co-founder of North Carolinians Against Gun Violence. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bearing witness to the terrible deaths and violence and suffering and grief our communities have endured, and for vowing never again. Enough is enough. That's the right sign. Enough is enough. You know, this is a very young crowd. It's the high school students who've led the way. The high school students who've made the difference, who've given us the hope that this time may be different. It was incredible that after Sandy Hook, gun violence, basic laws were not enacted. After those shootings in Charleston, people had a prayer meeting in their church. After Orlando. But now we have the sense that this may be different. That this may be different. And we're going to make it different. And one thing we need to remember is that over history, it's often youth movements that have made the difference. Think about it. Think about the Civil Rights Movement. Think about Vietnam War protests. Think about Tiananmen Square. Think about our own American Revolution. Young people made the difference. So you're in a proud tradition of protest and demanding action. You have the right to demand action out of this country. It is absolutely unacceptable that It's absolutely unacceptable that we haven't done the basic things. What good are background checks if half the gun transactions aren't subject to background checks? And then these weapons of mass killing, these high-capacity magazines, those do not belong in civilian society. They shouldn't be available for purchase at any age. This is basic common sense. This is basic decency. To get a hold of this situation, as we are supposed to do in a democracy, to make democracy work for us. We have an organization that fights us very hard. And that organization grades members of Congress. I wear my F grade as a badge of honor. Best antidote to the National Rifle Association, the NRA, is what's going on here today. They've never had majority support, nothing close to it. But we haven't always had the majority mobilized and ready to go like we do right now. So you're part of a great movement, 800 marches across this country, including 1 million people in Washington, D.C. Draw strength from that. needs to respond, must respond to carnage in our streets. And the mass shootings have created so much carnage and so much grief. Let's bring an end to this. Enough is enough. Thank you for being here. More power to you.
What is this? The march around my
This is too much.
Can we get a round of applause for Representative Price? So now I'd like to finish with a quotation from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, the amazing woman for whom the high school in Parkland is named. I believe this quotation speaks to us today. Don't think it is enough to attend meetings and sit there like a log. It's better to address envelopes than to attend foolish meetings. It's better to study than act too quickly. But it's best to be ready to act intelligently when the appropriate opportunity arises. Speak up. Learn to talk clearly and forcefully in public. Speak simply and not too long at a time. Without over-emotion, always from sound preparation and knowledge. Be a nuisance where it counts, but don't be a bore at any time. Do your part to inform and stimulate the public to join your action. Be depressed, discouraged, and disappointed at failure, at the disheartening effects of ignorance, greed, corruption, and bad politics. But never give up.
Ready? Are we ready? All right, listen up. This is an unprecedented time for our country. Going through a lot of challenges across the board. But I'm going to tell you something. There is a lot of hope. And our youth is our hope. All the way from Mount Katahdin to the beaches of Miami, to all the way to the beaches of California, to Oregon, to Lake Michigan, to all the way to El Paso. Our youth is our hope. We must support them and stand up for them and their future. The future and the prosperity of America is in our youth. And I got a message for the lawmakers in Washington right now. I got a message for people all the way to the Pennsylvania Avenue. When our children start acting like leaders and our leaders start acting like children, America, you better believe change is coming soon! So let's get going! Let's get engaged! Let's get involved! Let's vote! Let's get registered! Let's get involved in politics! Peacefully, non-violently, do not give hope! Let's go and march to the Halifax Mall! Let America know that America is not going to surrender to hate and bigotry. Our future is in our youth. I'm going to give to Lauren and Ember to lead us to the banner, and we're going to start marching in about 5 minutes. Please line up on the streets. Thank you. And let's go to the Halifax Mall.
I can answer too if you'd like. Let's see. Why do you care so much about the youth of today?
Well, I'm a mother. I used to be a youth.
I remember that. That's one of the reasons I'm here.
And the youth are the future. And I had a pretty good nation that I lived in when I was a young person. I want the younger generation to have the same good life, the
Yes.
same opportunities.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Why do you love the United States of America?
I don't know that I do love it. I love the idea. I love what it really is, not what it looks like. Land of opportunity, a land of equality, even if it's not always held.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with that. Okay, and one last question. What would you like this country to do to make the children safe?
Well, pass sensible gun laws is one thing. make a better effort to combat racism and discrimination and climate change. Basically, common sense and reality.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. What's the name of the blog again?
All the talk. I can write it down. It's
If you
All
would,
the Talk.
yeah. I'd like to check it out.
Cool. All right. Well, my name's Brendan O'Connell, host of Paula Talk, and I'd like to ask you a couple questions. I'm guessing you're here because you desire to not see people get killed or shot by guns.
I'm an American and we don't need this. My heart is broken.
I agree. Why do you believe people shouldn't die?
Everybody has to die, but nobody deserves to have their life taken from them.
Okay. Why do you want peace?
What's the alternative?
What do you think goes on in the heart of a mass murder? Do you think it's evil? What?
I don't think you can classify them in one way. I think some are mentally disturbed and did not get the help that they needed when they needed it. We don't have any good mechanisms in society to help people who need help. They're just cast aside and they take out their anger and frustration by honoring with feelings of resentment and anger.
I think resentment is a key word of understanding. I think it definitely comes from resentment.
Right.
Okay, and final question. What kind of change do you want?
Number one, we need good gun control laws. And we need, which include help for people that are mentally disturbed. But we need to get rid of assault weapons for sure and to have a cogent argument. The Second Amendment is trumped by our Constitution and by the commandment that thou shalt not kill. Right? And we cannot give up our rights to people just for the sake of money, which is what the NRA and the gun lobbyists, that's all they care about is making money. They don't care about life.
Great. Thank you, ma'am, for your time.
Thank you.
Okay.
She has a killer sign.
Ma'am. Hey, you want to shoot?
I guess.
To record? Okay. So why are you guys out here marching for your lives?
Because I feel, well, me personally, I feel like guns are more protected than we are nowadays. It affects us too. Like, we see it on the news all the time. Like, there's a shooting. Yeah. We just think like, okay, that's like some school got shot. That's like kind of typical, but that could happen to us. And if one of our best friends dies, like she died, it could have been her or our school that got it. Yeah. That happened.
How long have you been with the movement?
Ever since everything bad started happening and like you started to notice it more, like this was happening more and more and people got more accustomed to it, like they would be like, oh, okay, like did you hear about this? And then just kind of set it aside.
And what do you want most for America?
mainly want just to see a change. Like, I mean, I feel like guns they don't need, like, not all need to go away, but, like, there needs to be more protection on them because we're not protected as much because there are more people that can have access to them. And that's not good because we don't want people, like, ordinary people just having guns, and it's not good.
Let me ask you a kind of controversial question. Feel free to answer what your heart believes. But do you think what do you think of Trump's approach of arming teachers to protect children?
I don't believe in it.
No, you don't.
No, I don't
okay.
because it's not going to solve any problem. If you arm teachers with guns, kids can have access to them at all times, and they could do anything. But if you lock them up, if there's a serious situation, you can't get to them. So there's really no point in that. Now, more police officers, but I mean,
So
there are
you could
some
see
more
having
police
more school security,
Yes.
but
Yes.
not arming teachers.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, that's all the questions I have for you guys. Have fun at the march.
Thank you.
Okay, let's put the camera in the bag and just march for a while. Unless you want to go, I mean, I've pretty much gotten all I need, technically. But I thought we might go and check out the speeches.
Oh my gosh, it's so reverse. You're going to take a picture of Kara taking a picture of her? Yeah. I'm back.
Okay, you guys, so I got a couple questions for you. Why do you care so much about this country?
Well, I'm a teacher, so I'm currently in the classroom, and I think that there's a lot of reasons, but my reasons that are highest on my list have to do with my students and the country that I want to give to them and create for them, which is one where they're safe and where they feel like they can express themselves in other ways without violence.
I'm with her. I mean, she said everything it's the kids.
And why do you think it's so important that kids shouldn't die?
Well, they have beautiful ideas. I think the thing that I am inspired by and motivated by daily is the ideas that my kids come up with in the classroom, and I think that if they are no longer here, then those ideas are no longer here, and we need to support their ideas.
Absolutely great answer. And why do you think it's so important that we have peace?
Because peace means peace of mind. It means less stress and good things happen with peace rather than stress and trauma. That's my idea.
Right. I got maybe one or two more questions. Listen here. What would you like for future generations of children?
What would we like?
What would you like for them?
To see?
I would like more outdoors.
More what?
More outdoors.
Oh.
I would like more environments for them to be able to create by consensus and as on a team, and to not be afraid of their ideas and not to be afraid of failure.
Yeah. It's hard to narrow it down. I think that I want, if I think about like the young artists in my classroom, I want them to have spaces where they can create and have their artwork supported, no matter who they are or where they're coming from, and that they feel like they are validated through their artwork.
Great, and one last question. Do you believe we should execute the Parkland, Florida shooter? Why or why not?
No, I'm against the death penalty in all scenarios.
Great. Yeah, I know a lot of people are. Werner Herzog, for example, is really against the death penalty. He did a documentary on that. So great. That's all the questions I got for now.
Awesome. Good one.
Get back
Thank
to Mark,
you.
I guess. It looks like we missed it.
I know. No, we can join in right at the end.
Yeah, we're good.
We are going to march. We are going to call the lobby our reps, and we are going to vote. And we are going to vote for candidates who actually follow through on their promises to bring about common sense gun legislation. From the moment I stepped into school, I've been taught what to do to serve. Thus, the capital seems sorry.
No, you're fine.
You ready?
Yeah, pretty.
Hi, I'm Brendan O'Connell, founder and member of Domestic Democracy United, and today we've had a great amount of coverage of the March for Our Lives protest in downtown Raleigh. Apparently it's something that was sparked off by the Parkland, Florida shooting, but now it's happening all over America simultaneously. So I had to cover it, and as a Republican it was kind of difficult because I'm not explicitly anti-NRA. But I still found in these youngsters a profound passion, that democratical inclination to protest, and I think the footage should just speak for itself. So with that, let's take a look at it.